Oh, hello there. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn this single outlet into this double outlet. Now, the first step is going to be to remove the faceplate and then the outlet from the gang box. But before we do that, we want to make sure that there is no power to the outlet. As you can see, I have my two green lights right here on my Klein Tools ET310. And by the way, I'll throw links to everything in this video down in the description if you want to pick them up yourself. Since I have my two lights, I do know that I still have power to that outlet. So let's head out to the circuit breaker panel and shut off that breaker. Okay, now that the breaker is off, we can tell our lights are off. I'll check both receptacles just in case. Yep, lights are still off. So I have successfully removed power and it's safe to work on this outlet. So I'll go ahead and remove the cover plate. And as you can see here, I have exposed my work box and my outlet. So I'll go ahead and remove the actual outlet from the box. And I've pulled the outlet outside of the work box. Now, just so you're aware, this is an old work box, and all that means is it has pull-in clamps on either side. If it's a new work box, you'll notice it has nails and it will nail right into the stud. Now I'm gonna replace my single gang old work box with a dual or double gang old work box. Now, if you're replacing a new work box to an old work box, it's probably gonna require a little bit more work. You're definitely gonna wanna figure out on which side of the outlet is the stud, because it will be nailed on one side or the other directly to the stud. And you're gonna have to remove the nails to get that the new work box off of the stud. So a bit more work to do it. It is possible, but today, again, I'm just showing you the old work box single to an old work box double. Now that I've got my outlet successfully removed from the work box, I can go ahead and remove it so I can pull my wiring. Now, while you're removing your wiring, keep in mind what wires go where. Obviously, the bare copper wire is gonna go on your green ground. Always, always your white neutrals are gonna go on your silver screws. The copper brass color screws, always your black hot wire. I'll finish removing the existing wiring. And I'll kind of straighten that up because we're gonna be pulling this wiring outside of the box once we remove it from the wall. Now, we will be reusing this wiring, but obviously I don't have enough wires here for two outlets, so I'm gonna have to build some pigtails. And if you don't know what that is, no worries, it's real easy. I'll show you how to do it here in just a second. Okay, the next step is to remove the old work box. Now, to do that on an old work box, you'll have a screw up top and a screw on the bottom. You'll need to loosen up these enough to get the old work box out of the wall, because again, I'll show you how this works here in just a second once I get it removed, but it is clamped up against the drywall on the back side. So you're simply loosening the screws enough to get the work box out of the hole. Okay, and as you can see, once I've loosened up the two screws, it will easily pull out of the wall. That's why these old work boxes are so easy to replace, because there's no nails fastened to the stud or anything like that. Super simple. So if you're replacing an old to an old, you're in luck. I'll go ahead and pull the wire back through the back of the work box. Now, this is probably the trickiest part. You don't want to damage the wire as you pull it back through. So sometimes you can depress these tabs on the inside and it will come out a little bit easier without scraping the sheathing. Okay, I've finally got my Romex. Now this is 14.2, which means it is rated for a 15 amp circuit breaker. If you have 12.2 and it's a yellow sheathing here, possibly purple, but most likely you're gonna have a 14.2, which is a 14 gauge wire coming out of the wall. You'll wanna not replace it, but you wanna build your pigtails out of the same size diameter wiring. Now that we've got our old work box pulled out of the wall, we've got our Romex here hanging free. Now you definitely wanna make sure that this doesn't fall back into your wall, because that's gonna be a long day of you trying to fish this out of the wall. Trust me, you don't wanna go there. So just be careful not to let the wires fall back into the wall while you're doing this next step. We've got our hole here from our single gang work box, but we're gonna install our double gang, and it's the same old style. So it has a clamp on both sides that pulls into the drywall, and it fastens it securely without having to nail anything to any studs, makes it super easy. I recommend using this if you can. Now, we do need to decide which side of the hole we want to add our additional space for the dual double gang workbox. I think I'm gonna put mine off to the right. Now, what I do want to make sure is that there's not a stud right there, because if there's a stud there, then obviously this workbox is not going to sink into the wall and we have big issues. So I can just reach through. I do not have a stud and I do not have any other plumbing or wiring that I can feel. You can actually look back there with a flashlight if you need to, but I'm certain that I'm going to be okay. So the next step is going to be to trace out where I want my new workbox to go. And I just use a pencil here and trace it with it facing the wall. Now you want to make sure it's nice and level so that your outlet is not crooked. Okay, that's pretty level right there. Now go ahead and start tracing. Okay, now I've got my outline and pencil in the wall. It's time to use my Klein Tools drywall saw. Again, I'll throw links to all the tools and consumables that I do use in this video down in the description. So I'm simply gonna cut where my pencil lines are, so that way my new box should fit snugly right in that hole. Now, you always wanna err on the side of a little bit too small. It'll give it a little snugger fit, and if the hole's way too big, you're gonna have problems because your gang box is gonna fall into the wall and not fasten properly. It may slide side to side and give you future problems. Just take your time with this part and make sure you cut on the area of too small. Okay, that was pretty easy. You have a good drywall saw and it makes quick work out of it. But just like I said, take your time, go slow, cut the hole to its proper shape and size. And now what we want to do is I'm gonna simply just make sure before I feed my wires back through that my hole is big enough. And as you can see, it is fitting real snugly into that hole. So that's perfect, that's what I wanted. So we'll go ahead and feed our existing wiring back through. Now these double gang boxes come with a few choices as far as where you wanna push your wires through. I'm just gonna go with naturally where the wires come in, and I'm gonna use the top. Okay, and then we'll just pull the sheathing through carefully, not to damage the sheathing on your Romex. Now you want to make sure both of your clamp levers that poke in or that pull onto the drywall are laying flat. Mine up top here is not, so I'm just going to adjust it. Okay, now they're both flat. We'll push it into the wall. And there we have it. The double gang box is in the hole. But now we need to fasten it so it'll pull up against the drywall on the backside and lock her in. Now you don't want to go so tight where you're pulling and breaking the drywall, but you want to have a snug fit so your gang box is not moving around. So just snug it up. And see how easy these old workboxes are. To me, I don't know why you'd ever use a new workbox unless you're on a new build, but to each their own. I like these old workboxes because you can just put them anywhere and it'll pull against the drywall. You don't have to worry about finding your studs. Okay, the next step is to build our pigtail. Now, to build a pigtail, you're gonna need a few things. You're going to need another same wire diameter size piece of Romex like this, and we're just gonna use the wires inside to build our pigtail. And also you're either gonna need the wire nuts, which a lot of people still use the wire nuts to connect them all together, or you're gonna need some of these Wago 221s or similar lever clamps. And all these are clamps where you can pop these levers open, pop your wires in, and you're tying all your wires in together. It's a little cooler because you can actually see inside of the lever clamp and see where your wires are. So actually a lot of electricians are switching to the lever clamps. Today, I'm gonna be using the old school wire nuts. Okay, so I have my small piece of Romex here, and what I need to do is use my X-Acto knife or some other kind of cutting tool and just gently, without cutting anything but the sheathing, we're just gonna slice that open. Now inside of a Romex wire, you're gonna have some cardboard, just some paper, so you can peel off the plastic sheathing, toss that to the side, and now you should have your Romex inside your paper. And that simply just peels right off of your wires. Easy peasy, we'll toss that to the side. And now we have a white, a black, and a bare ground neutral that we need to pigtail in so we can wire up our second new outlet. Now, if you'll remember on my old outlet, I had J-hooks connected to the terminals on the side of it. So I do have some loops. Now, you can straighten these out if you're lacking a little wire length here, and you can kind of reuse them. I prefer to cut them off since I have plenty of length, especially because I'm adding a pigtail, which gives it even more length. Oh, and I almost forgot, you're actually gonna need 2 of these pigtails off your Romex spool. So don't just cut the one, cut 2, because we have 2 outlets now. I almost messed up and forgot to cut the second one. So here we go. I'll just do the same thing to this one that I did to the other one. I'll remove the wires from the sheathings. What you should be left with are 2 whites, 2 bare copper, and 2 blacks. And what I like to do at this point is strip the ones that have the insulation, so the white and the black. I'll go ahead and strip both ends to the proper length. That way I don't have to do it once I'm up here working. So let me strip those off real quick. For that, I have my Klein Tool auto strippers. Now these are really nice because they will strip multiple wires all at once. I still prefer to do one at a time. And the way that works is you put it into the chamber there and you get your length right there. And then voila. Those are the best strippers I've ever used. Thank you, Klein Tools. And now I'll just go ahead and strip the other side and the other 3 wires. Okay, I've stripped all of my wires. So now I have bare copper on both ends on my whole bundle of pigtails here. And it's time to wire them up. This part is super easy and I'll show you how. Almost forgot to strip these. Man, I'm slipping today. So let me go ahead and strip the white and black here too. Okay, now everything's stripped. And what you're doing here to build your pigtail is you're gonna connect all of the same color wires to each other. So I'll connect all 3 bare copper grounds together on one end. Now I like to pre-twist, and you just finish the twist with the wire nut itself. Now the next step is completely up to you. I like to add a piece of electrical tape around my wire nuts. Lots of people don't like to do it or just don't do it, and that's fine too. Okay, I've got my grounds done and my wire nut is taped like I like it. So it's time to move on and do the exact same thing with the white and black, and I'll connect all the wires up and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, my pigtails are complete. I have 2 bare copper for the ground. I have 2 black for the 2 hots, and I have 2 whites for the 2 neutrals. Now, some electricians may wire up one switch to the other. That doesn't require pigtails. All it requires is that they jump one outlet to the other. I don't prefer doing it like that, just because if you build it with pigtails like I have done here, if one outlet goes bad, the other one will still work. If they're tied together in series, if your first outlet goes bad, guess what? So does your second. So I recommend building your pigtails. So now we can go ahead and push our wiring back into the wall, get the proper length, and we'll wire up our outlets. For this next part, we're gonna need to push the wires back into the wall. That way they're tucked out of the way and we can go ahead and connect them to the new outlets. So we'll go ahead and carefully accordion these back in to the back. Now you wanna be careful when you're pushing these back into the box that the wing or the wire nuts or the lever clamps don't come apart. You don't want wires back there touching, that would be bad. So we're just careful, push them in accordion style. That way you've just got enough wire sticking out of the workbox to hook up your outlets. Okay, and now on each side I have a black, a white, and the bare copper for each outlet. We'll go ahead and hook them up. All right, now I've got 2 new 15 amp Leviton outlets. These are residential. These are pretty nice. They are tamper resistant, which is a requirement here in the US now. So make sure when you're buying your outlets for your residential home to replace, they do have a stamp that says TR on them. So the first thing I like to do is just make sure that my stripped insulation length of the bare wire is long enough for my J-hooks. Now, another thing to note is some of these outlets do have push-in options on the back. These actually do not, so I actually like that. But some of them do. I don't recommend using them because over time they will come loose. They could cause arcing and your outlet will just stop working. I always recommend using the J-hook on the terminals. Now, remember, You have a copper side and a silver side. White is silver and black always goes to your brass or copper color screws. And of course, your green ground, not hard to remember that one. Now, on the back of most of these outlets, you'll find a wire length template. I recommend using that just to get the right length for your bare stripped wires. And I can see already that I did not strip my wires long enough, so I'm gonna use the handy gauge right on the outlet and I'm gonna strip them to that length. Those are actually okay. It's just the one neutral wire here. I just need to strip a little bit more off the top. And now they're ready for their J-hooks. To build your J-hooks, you wanna just use your needle nose pliers or something similar to that and just smoothly bend a J in your wire. That way it fits around the terminal. I'll go ahead and do all mine. Okay, now I've successfully bent 6 J-hooks in all 6 wires. It's time to go ahead and fasten them onto the outlet. Now, when you're wiring up these non-switched outlets, it doesn't matter which side that the black and white wire goes on as far as the top and bottom terminal. Now, if it's a switched outlet, you'll be breaking off that tab and it does matter. Or if it's a GFCI, it definitely matters because you have a line and load. But for these normal outlets, you're just gonna hook it up to either the top or bottom. Always make sure you tighten these terminal screws in a clockwise rotation. That ensures that it actually tightens the wire while you're tightening it instead of loosening it off the terminal. So always clockwise. Okay, I like to give them a little tug, make sure they're not loose. And then of course, I'll hook up my bare wire to the green ground screw. Okay, now I like to give the wires a little pull, just make sure that nothing is loose. And this outlet is ready to push back in the box and secure. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing for the other outlet. I won't bore you with that, so let me finish that and we'll continue. Now that I have successfully wired both outlets, I'll go ahead and push them carefully back into the back of the box and fasten them up into the dual gang box. I like to carefully accordion those in. You wanna just make sure your wiring is not coming loose and nothing is touching each other in there. Go ahead and start both outlets. As you can see, I've got both outlets started. I like to give it one last visual, just make sure everything's nice and neat back there. Now, this is the part where you're gonna wanna line up your outlets so they're both flush and level. And we'll go ahead and finish tightening them in. And there we have it. They're both tight in there. Not so tight they'll crack, but so tight that they do not move around in the gang box. Now we can go ahead and install our decorative plate. And as you can see, mine doesn't quite line up. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this right side outlet right here. And these do slide around. Kind of just wanna play with it until it's in the right spot. Snug it back down, check it again. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. So go ahead and fasten down the decorative cover plate now. Now, when you're tightening down these cover plates, you want them snug so they don't move around, but you don't want to so tight that they crack. And I like to line up all my screws in the same direction. And there you have it, folks. That is how we turned a single gang box into a dual outlet double gang box outlet. We have a little bit more options now for our TV and entertainment. And of course, the last step is just to make sure that we have wired up our outlet correctly and to restore power. So what I like to use is, again, the Klein Tools ET310. This is one half of the tool, but this half of it is a simple outlet tester. It just tells you if you have power and if it's wired correctly. So we'll go ahead and throw it in and we'll go flip on the circuit breaker and we have restored power. I do have my 2 green lights, which it means it is wired correctly. I like to check all 4 receptacle spots just to be certain, and yes, they're all wired correctly. Folks, if you found this video useful, watch this one right here. I know you're gonna love it. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel right there. It does something to the algorithm. I don't know what, but it helps us out and I truly appreciate it. I will see you on the next one.